Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SEO Basics and your KW website. We are so excited to have you all with us today. We have a very special presentation for you today, and we have a very special guest. This is a very good friend of mine. Me and Paul have been working together for a long time. Paul is an MC Tech. He's also a realtor with his partner, Donna, and I mean that partner as in business and in life. Paul has been in the internet for over 17 years, graphics designer, web designer, SEO experience. The reason I put in a lot of dots is because he just has tons of experience, a little bit too much to put on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our presentation, Mr. Paul Arvay. Welcome, Paul.
Hey, Kevin. Happy to be here today, and thank you for inviting me. Going to enjoy hosting everyone here and hope we can provide some information of value to you.
And Paul, I have just shared the screen with you, so you should be ready to share your screen.
Okay. I am... Why don't you flip through the presentation, Kevin?
Yeah, you bet. I can do that for you. No problem. I'm just going to take that over. And tell me if we need to go live, Paul, and then I'll take it back over to you. How's that sound?
All right, go ahead.
Okay, sounds good. All right, let's get started. Let's tell them a little bit about what we are covering today.
All right, what we're going to go over today is the foundation of your KW website. Just like your home or any building, it needs a good, strong foundation, and on top of that foundation will be your website structure. Inside that structure, you're going to learn about meta descriptions and their purpose, your page templates, and then we'll finish up with some action items as a summary of things you need to keep in mind from what we learned from this webinar today. All right, the foundation of your KW website. It's built on WordPress. That's the code that it runs on and powers it. And as of this week, and for a long time, it's the #1 most used content management system of all content management systems out there. It leads them all by about 30%. I will post this information after the webinar for you all so you can actually review this yourself. It's really interesting stuff. I've been an avid WordPress user since 2010 on our own personal website. So I've got a lot of experience with that and web design, and I'm really excited for all of us and all that WordPress is going to be able to do for us. The KW websites are every bit as powerful as a regular hosted version of WordPress, and you're going to learn more about what you guys need to do to make sure you take advantage of all that.
So, Paul, I have a quick question for you. So we hear this a lot, that it's on a WordPress platform, and that's very powerful. Can you just give us a little bit more education on what that means? I mean, we know WordPress is a powerful blogging tool. We know a lot of people use it, but why, if a lot of people use it, does that help us?
Well, it's popular because it's optimized for everything that search engines, especially Google, like. And along with the Yoast plugin that is added to this, all the underlying code is all in place for Google to be able to find everything that you add to your website. Now, all this in the foundation is very important to you, but it's not going to do a whole lot without you. So you're going to need to know some things of what you need to do with titling your pages, your website, and as well as your page content, and how you need to pay attention to that structure to best make use of your ability to get found in the search engines.
Okay, and I think you said something really important, and I want to be sure everyone heard that. What you said is you have to become involved. So what I hear you saying, Paul, is just because we have 100,000 agents and we're on a WordPress, we use a WordPress platform that's used by you said 26% of all websites, just because that's not going to automatically just bring us search engine optimization. Is that correct? Is that what I hear you saying?
That's right, Kevin. Everybody's going to have to be very thoughtful about what they want to accomplish with their website and what they want their public and their visitors to really know about them and how they want to stand out in search results.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how we can do that using our KW website through the KW website structure.
All right, in your website structure, you're going to notice when you finally get in your back end, some of you are already in there, and many of you are patiently waiting for you to have your new site released. One of the first things you're going to see is a lot of words and things to click on. This is the main structure of your back end, and very important to you are going to be your site settings, your ability to edit and add pages, your blog posts, and under agents you are going to be able to add agents on your team and specific information about each of your team members. And for any of you that collect testimonials from your clients, you're going to have an area where you can actually feature those testimonials. And I believe some will be featured on your home page. That's very important to let your public see that you have a lot of satisfied clients. And then you have the section on areas, which is where you're going to build your community pages. And we'll elaborate on some of that a little bit later. Now, you're going to have different types of pages. There are static content pages, and in these pages, your information rarely needs to be updated. So you need to be very, very thoughtful of the information it includes. Again, you're going to be considerate of what it's about, and it's all got to be written in natural English language because, believe it or not, Google understands natural English language. So it looks at that as some of the relevancy considerations when the Google bots are crawling your website.
Yeah,
some of these static. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was going to say we'll be doing some training regarding blogging on your WordPress website later on, like in the middle of May. So that's a great addition to what you're saying. Thank you.
All right. So some examples of static content pages that rarely get updated. They're going to be your About page, your Agent and Team pages, your Contact Me page, any vendor partner pages you might create, any area information pages you might build, or any link pages you might add, anything related to that. That once it's established, it's going to remain the same until you find reasons to update them. Then you will have your area index pages. These are the main pages that display access to each of your community pages. These pages, community pages, can be created by county, by region, locality, which is your city or town, postal areas, which are zip codes, and individual neighborhoods. So you'll find that information is based on whatever is supplied via your MLS through your Placer IDX.
And Paul,
Paul,
you said some of these pages are already built for us. Is that correct?
No, the area pages are not. The templates are there.
Okay.
But you're going to have to decide what you're going to want to feature in some of these pages. I have not seen what is being rolled out to you guys yet, so I don't know what's included on the site as soon as you activate it. My beta site is probably a little bit different with content than what you guys have. Going forward, your area pages are also static content, and the only thing that's not static on there, which will be refreshed regularly, are any listings that show up on the communities that you choose. So they will always be added and subtracted based on the transactions that happen and listings coming on the market and expiring. So that's good, because that's automatic fresh content that Google will be crawling. And then you also have your blog posts. Now your blog posts are dated and organized by the date that they are posted. So your freshest content will always be listed first in your blog index and on your home page. So it's important that you get on some sort of schedule with blogging. And I always tell everybody they don't really have to obsess over that. You have to find a schedule that's convenient for you. It can be weekly, monthly, even every 2 months. Obviously, more frequent is more valuable to what Google's going to like as far as fresh content. But again, you have to do what's going to work for you and your schedule. All right, now on the screen now we have what is an example of a static page. This has content that's going to remain there forever and ever until I change it again. Nothing's going to update on it. And it's titled Home Seller Resources. Now, we're going to look on the next page, which will show you the back end. You'll note that the title of Home Seller Resources is also on the menu. So here on the back end, we've built this page with a page title only. We did not add any information to the meta title or meta description. Now, something very important you need to know about that is when you do it in this fashion, your in the top of the website, when you highlight, move your mouse over the tab, you're going to see a little box pop up that's going to show you that page title. And if you added nothing in your meta title, it's also going to append that page title with whatever you entered as your brand name under the site info section.
All right, tell us a little bit more about that, Paul. Can you explain that a little bit more for us, or show us what that means if you have?
I think we have a page where I'm going to highlight that coming up.
Okay, excellent, perfect.
Okay, so it's not mandatory that you add the meta title and meta description, but for many of you, it's important when you want to tell the search engines what it should be saying in the search results. So when you really want to customize that meta title a little differently with something specific, you use that meta title tag, and it will override whatever your regular page title is, and it will not append your brand name. The meta description is your opportunity, you're going to see a little bit later, to feature something about that page that you want to stand out in the search engine results. And two things we're going to repeat a couple of times in this presentation is that your meta title should never be more than, they say 50 to 60 characters. I like to stick with about 56 characters, and you can actually count in the Google search results how many characters it actually displays for most of those results that you see. And your meta description, likewise, Google never really publishes in the search results more than maybe 160 characters. I usually try to stick at 156 characters or less. So these numbers are very important for you to keep in mind, because anything you add to those titles and descriptions beyond that is really wasted information and not going to be seen by people who find your search result. And let's go to the next page. All right, here's where it's important for you, where we backstep a little bit. The first thing you're going to do before you get into building your pages is setting up everything under your site info. And the number one thing you're going to encounter is your brand name. So you really need to pay close attention to how many characters you use here, what you're entering there, and that is because on the pages, again, where you do not specifically add a page title tag, this information is going to be appending every single one of your static page and your blog post titles where you have not specifically configured the page title meta. Okay, any questions there?
Let me take a quick look at, nope, I think they are highly, highly intrigued. All right, now I did want to mention a couple things. On here we have the brand name, the tagline, and the tagline's what's going to show up, and I think right here on this page. The tagline, that's going to show up right here, is that right?
That's right. That's up in your header area.
Yep.
And I try to always put something there that includes what my market area is. And if it's text and it's on your web page, those are things that not only your visitors are going to see, but so is the Google web bots.
Okay, and then the favicon. This is one that I don't know if a lot of people understand the value of that. If you have your own icon, you could upload that using the favicon. It doesn't have to be a KW logo, right?
Right. It could be something that represents your own logo, your own brand. And what's really so important about having a favicon is when people save their favorites in all of their web browsers,
yes,
and when they go back to reference and find a particular site that they're looking for, that favicon makes you stand out. So it helps them zero in rather than just looking for the title of the site. That favicon is the branding that helps them zoom right in and click right on what they were looking for in their favorites.
That's awesome. Another great way to stay top of mind too, right? I mean, if you've been pushing your brand through a neighborhood, right, even anything like that, that's going to jump out at you once again.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I personally like using the KW because that's who the label we're under, and it's red and white, and it really stands out over above other people's favicons.
Great point. Great point. And it's available to everybody. You don't have to have your own brand made if you don't have it. Quick question came in about do we need to be concerned with the brand name matching any sort of doing business as requirements within our state license boards, etc.? And my answer, and Paul, you can jump in that as well. Why don't you go ahead and answer that first, Paul?
Well, that's going to be defined by your state and local laws and your requirements there. So we personally, in our hometown, that's not a real issue with us. What I generally recommend for everybody in our market center is try to find some balance between the center branding, market or KW branding, and the market center branding, and their own brand, and that way you're sure to satisfy all the powers that be. That way you're totally straightforward about who you represent, where you hang your hat.
Yep. Good point. Always check with your broker for any of those specific questions. Thank you for that. All right, Paul, we're on to number 3, meta descriptions and purpose. The exciting world of meta descriptions. Tell us a little bit about that, would you?
All right, let me get caught up here. We're zipping along, and I got to get to my notes.
We're on section 4, slide 12.
Actually, I don't have notes on this one. They're all on the page. Everything here is pretty self-explanatory based on this slide. It tells you what a meta description is, and again, it reiterates my comments about the length of characters in the meta description. It's a short paragraph, and it's your opportunity. You're the webmaster of your own site unless you hire somebody to do it for you. It's your opportunity to advertise specific content to searchers and let them know exactly whether that given page contains the information they're looking for. Now, one thing, again, I want to reiterate on that as well. When you leave this meta description blank, the Google web bots are going to do their best to crawl that page seeking relevant content that matches each individual searcher's intent. In other words, they're going to look for content that matches whatever their keyword inquiry was. So if you feel comfortable with just building good content and letting Google make random descriptions in your search results based on what they're searching for, that'll work too. But again, you're going to have to pay very close attention as to how you configure and what you write in the content of those pages. Now, as a side note here, I just want to let you all know, one of my favorite free websites, they sell a lot of things to you, but they have a lot of free information, and it's at moz.com, moz.com, and I have the link there in this slide if you'd like to visit that page. And there's a lot more detail about title tags and meta descriptions in that site as well.
And I will share that with the audience there, Paul.
Okay.
All right. Page templates.
All right, next up.
Yep, I'm ready. Page templates is what we're talking about next.
All right, when you get in your back end and you start looking at what you're going to do and thinking about building pages, you're going to find that you have some pre-made templates that are configured in a certain way as far as their titles, whether or not they allow you to add content, and if there's any other options added to those templates. And also you're going to see your ability to, again, customize your meta title and meta description on every one of those templates. So you have those that are going to include page content. Your page templates that allow you to add content will be your default page template, your about page, your areas index page, your contact page, and all of your blog posts. The areas index, now let's move on. We're good. That covers it all. Now, when you get to your other options, your other pages that do not have content, there's quite a few of those. Those are your index pages predominantly, your listing search page, and your featured listing page. Your index pages are the main pages where your visitors will go to. For instance, your agent's index is going to be the page that displays all of the agents you have added as individuals. Your blog post index is going to be a complete list of each one of your blog posts. Your listing search, you know what that is. That's exactly what it says, self-explanatory. Your testimonials index is going to be a breakdown in blog format of each individual testimonial that your visitors can select each one from, and your featured listing page as well. So these you cannot add additional content to, but you still need to pay attention to the title, and you need to decide whether or not you want to customize that meta title and meta descriptions. Now, the better you get at compiling all this, you're going to start finding the better you're going to get at zeroing in and having Google zero in and giving you more rank for more pages. So it's not something that you can just learn overnight. It's going to take practice. It's really not hard, and all these basics are relatively easy. And once you master them, just like you have to master the basics of the real estate business, you're going to find that your foundation is very strong, and you will begin to become organically ranked for a lot of different things, and every now and then you might capture a lead naturally without having to pay for it.
Now, Paul, can you put menu items underneath these indexable pages? In other words, if I had a blog post index, I could have several blog posts underneath that, like the parent-child relationship. Is that correct?
That's correct. That blog index is going to be composed of every blog post. Actually, they're going to be graphically pictured with the featured photo you've chosen and a little excerpt out of your blog. If for any of you that want to follow along, if you don't have your site, you can look at my beta site, which can be found at arvayhomesalesteam.com, and you can kind of follow along and click through and see some of these things I'm talking about.
Arvay
homesalesteam.com.
All right, I'm sending that to the audience. And
now you will know one thing. This is a KW Luxury International theme, and it's only available to KW Luxury International members.
Very good.
And so I've been displaying this as I've been displaying it to the KW Luxury International community. And really the only real big difference about it is the fact that you can use the luxury logo and the color of the header. So other than that, it's identical to your Madison thing.
All right, and I need to resend that. I sent them the wrong one. So take the second one, Arvay with an A, not with an E.
That's correct.
All right, so give me 2 seconds. I'm going to pull this up, Paul. That's a pretty site. All right, here we go. There's the site. Now, you know, this isn't so much different than what KW agents will get. Looks like the Madison template with the Omni box in the middle. You have your listing, your navigation menus across the bottom, and then of course your featured properties and so forth. So this is a really close to what someone would get if they didn't put a whole bunch of time and effort in the website. Would you agree with that, Paul?
Yeah, this is what you're going to see in the early stages when you first start your site up and start setting up what it can do.
Yeah.
I have added a couple of items on my menu, and let's stay here for a minute.
Yeah.
On my menu on the far right, I have added external links. So rather than creating a page for our mobile app, I just created a link that opens in a new window that goes straight to downloading our app. And I also use a forwarding domain name to make it easier for us to give out a link.
Mobile.Columbia Homes for You. Right?
Correct.
Nice.
And of course, we have, Donna and I have a vanity URL which is given to KW Luxury International when they join and pay their membership fee. So they have an option to have a vanity URL for their mobile app, which is the last, instead of having the digits for the mobile app, we ended up with KW Donna Arvay, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then home value pages. That's an external home value page. You can go anywhere you want with that. And we chose after our last visit to family reunion. And when we got back, we had a special visit from SmartZip, and so we decided to buy a number of agents in our market center decided to check it out. And I don't know what anybody else is doing with it yet, but we're finding that once you learn what it is, there's a shameless plug for them. It's not going to fill your inbox full of leads, but it's a good product once you know how to use it, and it's going to do what it does. You just have to work it.
Right. Okay, and then it's time for some action items. Let's get them to do something here, Paul.
All right. What do you got next line? What's the next slide up?
That is, sorry, my bad. I'm going to show you that now. There we go.
All right. In summary, what do we got to do and what do we learn from everything today? Well, number one thing you're going to do is add your brand name, and it needs to be probably your team name or your name and brokerage name, and that's under site info. And remember, that is going to be automatically appended to your page titles in most anywhere where you do not actually specifically add a meta title tag. Number two, develop your website homepage title with SEO keywords related to your business and niche in mind. So in our case, if you look at the Arvay home sales team, I believe it says something about it, Irma Lake Murray Real Estate, that's what is going to be featured in your search result when people find your home page in the Google search. Choose your page titles wisely and thoughtfully. Never duplicate them or copy someone else's. Every single one of them within your own site must be totally unique. Number four, know that all of your page and post titles are never longer than about 56 characters. Anything more than that is wasted words and characters. Same thing for your meta descriptions. If you're adding your custom meta descriptions to each page and post, always use natural English language and never more than about 156 characters. All content must be written as natural, easy-to-read language, even when including keywords. Never stuff your titles, meta descriptions, or page and post content with keywords and repetitive phrases, and always keep it simple and relevant to your business, your market, and your niche. And if you can just learn and master all these basics, there's not a whole lot more you need to do other than being consistent at doing all this within your website, and you are going to make huge leaps and bounds in being found by your people. There's a little bit more that goes on top of this, but one thing I want to add to you about, I didn't say a lot about the Yoast plugin. One of the most important things that Yoast plugin being built into your site does for you is it automatically adds your pages and posts to your sitemap, and regularly and automatically submits that sitemap to Google and other search engines.
Okay, so a couple questions really quickly, Paul, before we let you go. Someone's asking, can you add videos to the blog posts instead of using upload video?
You can embed video.
All right, very good. And then how do you find out Google ranking for a specific page?
Well, one of the first things you want to do after your site is active for a while, and I would wait anywhere from 3 to 6 months to start really eyeing them out. I mean, you could start getting crawled much sooner, but it's going to take time for your IDX listings to all finally get crawled and added as well.
All right.
So what you do is you go and you do a Google search first, and you type in the word SITE : and then after that, just add your domain name. So if it's mydomain.com, you type in a Google search, SITE : mydomain.com, hit search, and that will kind of give you a good indication of how many of your pages have been indexed by Google.
Nice.
I don't know if that's answering your question entirely, but that will definitely tell you that you are being indexed
for that specific page. That's great. Okay, very good. Faye says, outstanding presentation. She wants to hear more from you, but we can't give you more, Faye, because we're out of time. I'm sorry. All right. Is there a way to make a quick look at that one? All right, I think that will, recommended how about recommended WordPress widgets? Do you know anything about the widgets that WordPress has? Those currently are not available to us in our KW sites, are they, Paul?
That is correct. There are no widgets yet enabled. Right now, the focus on these new websites for us is to first, let's get them rolled out and set up and going with all the basics first. We've got a whole lot of agents, 140,000 plus likely, and they're trying to minimize any issues by not adding any additional functionality at this time. But stay tuned, because Little Birdie told me that both KW and Playster would love to be innovative and going forward. So we're going to just have to take one step at a time and see what kind of things show up.
Agreed. David's asking, can we get a hold of this presentation? Yes, we are recording it, David. We will have it posted on the Technology Trainers Google YouTube page. All right. Hey, thank you very much, Paul. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Paul a big hand. Let's clap through the GoToWebinar Questions Modular course. And thank you again, Paul. We really appreciate it.
All right.